you are a community club. DCFC is a community-built club. And it will always
team is
be.
pitching a plan to revitalize a historic gem in our community, and it's a project that's driven by their passion for their sport.
State of disrepair right now. Concrete sort of crumbling a little bit. The bleachers.
Football Club. We're at Keywood Stadium. This stadium was built in 1936. Simply put,
It's amazing to see just how far they have come. Years ago, they were playing over at Gas Tech, and now so many people.
The post and Stephon St. Louis is there to clear it.
Yeah, in the background, you know, they give us the 12th man. You know, it's awesome.
Fans to watch. We're happy to put on a show for all these guys that came out to see us play.
When we move, they move, and just communication is the biggest part.
Great. I think we could have earned a shutout earlier against Sparta in the year.
Awesome. You know, the atmosphere is amazing.
Monday with the right foot. It's in the back of the net.
People know us now. People know what to expect. Now we gotta take it to another level.
Look, city till I die. Say hi to the bad fella. Hella smooth with the flow, so grab your umbrella. Yeah, we make it rain, bring the pain. Things are changing. Power rankings take a spanking, got them rearranging. They said Denise are all stars till we deboed all y'all. Ball of fist and brawl y'all. Yeah, we pissed off all y'all, and we thin but still winning. Grinning at the top, got up under head spinning, make that chin pop. Blue collar clocking in. They been mocking us for days till they step into the key, and they been leaving with a fade. Doubting us, but then they swayed. Say we pout, they throwing shade. You will never have what we have, time to get the blade. Cause we'll be cutting them up, yeah, we're shutting them up. We ain't bluffing, tell you something, better knuckle up. Y'all ain't nothing but chumps, we put in overtime. We'll be putting in work until it's closing time. City till I die, talking blood, sweat, and tears. City till I die, we've been building this for years. City till I die, this don't happen in a moment. City till I die, it's our time we came to own.
Hey,
City till I die.
hello. Oh, look at this. They're all coming in together. How's it going? Nobody cuts off drunk Santa. Nice. I just have the classic.
Oh, yeah.
Garrett obviously comes in with no Christmas paraphernalia, no background. Like, does he even care?
Have you ever read Christmas Carol and you see me right now? I kind of look like the ghost of a city Christmas present.
I guess, but you didn't even put on like a sheet or anything, some chains, you know.
At least I wore a jacket.
Nice. Jaime got a haircut.
Yeah, it was overdue.
The end of year haircut.
Oh man. It's been a while, gents. Sure has.
It's been a little minute.
It's always fun to always have the holidays together.
Yeah, it is. So Adam said he'd be a little bit late, right?
Yeah, he might
late.
He might be trying to think of the best way to describe. What type of Santa would Adam be other than like one? I think vegan Santa, one.
Angry Santa.
Grinch. The Grinch. He's clearly got the beans for the Grinch here.
Or Scrooge, like I feel like he's always kind of got a bah humbug kind of vibe.
Lately,
poor Adam, he's not even here. He's not even here.
Lately,
getting roasted.
Lately, Blue Sky too.
Getting roasted like a roasted chestnut.
So is anyone on any beverages this evening?
I've got a lovely. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I got 2 more work days this year before I am done, so I am just on the black tea tonight.
Nice.
But
you'll be up the fucking walls.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to cracking open something nice and cold, or maybe I'll have a spirit this holiday season.
The Southern Tier double Christmas ale is very nice.
Nice.
Endorsed by yours truly.
And then I see Alan's got a Wrexham lager. Did you get those back from England with you?
No. Those are being distributed exclusively at Total Wine. So
nice.
I was.
They probably don't even sell it in Wrexham.
I was less happy to find out that it's being brewed in the U.S. at a contract brewer.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
So,
it's probably like
can has ever been to Wrexham.
It's probably like Foster's.
Except the name.
Oh,
nice.
There we go.
So mine is a bit of a doozy. Mine is, look at this. It won't show. It's just a clear silver can. Because my sister-in-law works for Mark Anthony Brewing, who make, among other things, White Claw and Mike's Hard Lemonade. Is it Mike's?
Yeah.
And I guess, are trying to branch out into the beer making world. So I have this very nondescript can which I know it's beer because I've been drinking it for a few weeks.
Product.
But they just got an email saying that one set was a Kolsch and one was like a Pilsner. So, it was really taking my life into my hands with that one.
Basically, you're a test subject.
So yeah, nice of us to be able to gather like this at the Winter Lodge here.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the holidays,
Very festive.
and just do a little bit of chit chatting together as a group, and I think we'll get into some nice little shit here. I think this might be a fun one. So yeah, I guess we'll just start with a little bit of ins and outs. Don't want to go too hard on this because who is this?
Wait a minute.
Is this Adam? Is it the big red man? Is Santa Claus here himself?
I'm hearing wind howling.
It's Santa Claus?
It's a mystery man.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Reveal yourself, mystery man.
This just reminds me of Zoom 2020s during happy hour when we then find out we don't want to know who the unveil is.
Yeah. Is this like a Oh, it is the big red man.
451 Christmas, the ghost of 451 Christmas past.
Ooh, let him in here. Jesus.
Hey,
it was me.
What up, fellas?
What's going on?
None, man. I've been waiting in here trying to get in since my last one. I showed up the next podcast and Jaime wouldn't let me in. So
wow.
I just changed the password, man.
Well, look at that. So we just ran around what we're all drinking. You wanna let us know what you're tippling yourself there?
What I'm what?
What you're drinking?
Oh, I go to a little Two Hearted.
Oh, that looked like a big Two Hearted.
Yeah, see, look at that.
Pour two in at the same time.
Four-hearted, man.
Four-hearted.
What he's done is drew 4 times the normal size.
So
that special 64-ounce can of Two Hearted.
Yeah.
They'll only sell you one of those at the gas station. Like they're not allowed to sell you two.
Yeah.
Well, cheers, fellas, and we were just about to jump in, Red, just talk a little bit about the moves that were made, not too in detail, because
no Adam, huh?
We've got all next year for that. No, Adam might be a little bit late. That's how I perform this ruse, by making them all think that you might be Adam.
Figures. No, he's still fucking slacking, ain't he?
He's checking some lists right now for production purposes.
To be honest, we could be encroaching on any one of his 5 other podcasts that he does, so he's a busy man.
I sent him 2 videos already today of happenings, so he might be already on production.
Yeah, he's probably editing Garrett's shit. So yeah, like I sent you earlier, Red. I don't know if you actually read it, but we'll just start with a little bit of chit chat here about the comings and goings, and then we'll get into the real meat of the episode. So yeah, I'm gonna run through real quick. Signings, options picked up, all that shit. If anybody wants to stop me. If you just want to yell some stuff at the end, yell some stuff. But so far, it looks like the new signings we have are Shane Wheat Maury Donor, Carlos Herrera, and we'll get into how we're going to explain having two Carloses later. Is it Carlos, Carly? Like, you know, there's a few names being thrown around there. Our new two-headed goalkeeping monster is two Carloses, so not confusing at all. Picked up the options of Connor and Jaceel. Didn't pick up Elvis, Daniel James, so they're all gone. Peace out, boys. Thanks for your efforts. Extended Ben, Lai, and Michael. Obviously, there was a bit of comings and goings there with Michael on his own, so might get into that at some point. Obviously, the biggest move is Maxi, boo, and Nate retiring, which they officially announced today. But we all knew was coming the last few weeks. And they did send out a somewhat confusing message about it today, which may or may not have been filmed like 6 months ago, it sounded like.
Not clear at all.
Bit too much eggnog at Detroit City Communications Post.
Yeah, I don't know. Too much of something during the summer. Ryan Williams is still in talks to return, the last we heard. And then Brett and Zeed were both out of contract and are not going to be returning. No official word yet on Matt Sheldon. I wonder if he's in talks too, or they're going to wait to see who they have cover-wise. I
do have a brief tease.
Yeah.
A sporting director that we may know is visiting in the homeland and will be there till just before Christmas. The last time our sporting director was back home, he brought somebody that led to Ben Morris coming here. So, does that mean somebody new?
Jaime is in shambles right now.
Does that mean Ryan Williams gets wrapped up? We shall see.
I'm guessing we've just signed the fourth best left back in Northern Ireland. That's what I think.
Yeah.
As long as he's from Glentoran, then I don't mind.
Jaime's question: Did when the gaffer went there, did he take anybody with him?
just drop one person off and leave him back there.
How do you think they're going to mitigate for homesickness this year? Like, are they going to run a test on any players they bring over to make sure they're not going to get homesick 2 months in and head back?
Lock them in an isolation chamber and see if they claw through a door.
Find out what Scottish treats they need to bring with them to make him feel more at home.
There we go.
Sounds like for that, what last year with a lot of the guys that came over, it was just them, not families. This year they may change that up. So those that are returning with families make the trip.
I mean, Ali didn't. He doesn't have like a wife and kids.
Kidnap them and throw them into a bus.
He just missed the hobnobs.
All of a sudden they disappeared. Oh, now we're in Detroit. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I know Ryan has a family at home, but like he stuck it out for the season, so whatever. It's fine. I've gone through bouts of homesickness too. I've just never taken the plunge to actually go back. All right. Well, with those out of the way, we can just jump right into it. We're going to do a little bit of who deserves a gift under the tree this year, who deserves a lump of coal, and then, we'll do a little bit of like hopes for 2025. So who wants to kick off? Who deserves the biggest gift under the tree this year? And I didn't even give context for this. I just left it very open to interpretation. So have at it. Alan?
I guess whoever's paying for the new stadium probably should get a gift. maybe a small fruit and nut basket or something. Like $20 at Costco. That's kind of the range I'm thinking.
Can we do a PayPal pay in 4 for that?
The parties unknown who are writing some fairly significant checks behind the scenes and are about ready to write a lot more. So hopefully one day we'll get to schmooze with them and ask them why they did this crazy thing.
Yeah, it's really all we think right now, right? Because we're still kind of waiting on some more tidbits of news. I'm sure somebody in this chat has something that hasn't been thrown out there, but
well, I wasn't prepared to bring this up tonight.
Here we go.
But
here we go.
I'll I feel like Alan's kind of outed me. I am the donor.
Jaime just won $760 million.
Donated many millions
too
of
shy
dollars.
about his
I know,
net worth.
it's
I
not
didn't want to bring
usually-
it up.
Yeah, I don't usually flaunt that kind of thing.
He could have kicked Florentino Perez out of Real Madrid, but no, he decided to spend his money at home.
A great uncle in Peru that came across some of the old Conquistadoran gold. So
You mean I could have used your private jet to fly to the UK instead of flying?
I mean, if I had
premium economy,
known in advance, I would have.
Well, thanks.
I would
Appreciate
have
it.
hooked you up, Alan.
Well, too late now.
All right, Rich Donor, Jaime, who's your gift for?
I was going back and forth on this.
Just to get the Ben Morris?
No, he was not. Ironically, he was not one of the names that came to mind. But in the end, I thought long and hard about this. I'm gonna go with Connor Rutz getting a big gift. Much maligned last year, had kind of a bounce back year this year. Just got married, just got a fresh new contract. Local lad, one of the last remaining NISA All-Stars. Connor Rutz on the nice list for sure.
Nice, yeah, that's out of left field. Jaime's feeling very generous this time of year, I guess.
Yeah.
Big Red, did you have one, or have you come up with one in the last 7 minutes?
Yeah, actually, I want to say, actually, no, I'll wait on that one. I would say gift goes to Carlos Saldana. I think that he really showed up big this year. It's kind of difficult to come up behind, Nate and his legacy with this club, and to kind of perform the way that he did and came up with, some big moments, possibly our biggest moment of the season, tucking away that PK during the shootout against Houston. And I don't know, just in general, kudos to both of them, Nate and Carlos, for being able to pull off what they did. I can imagine that for a keeper, in terms of kind of trying to catch a particular kind of rhythm, that it's a little bit difficult when you're like 2 matches on, 2 matches off, 3 matches on, 3 matches off, and whatnot. You know what I mean? But they really. So I guess maybe my gift goes to both of them. But I'm particularly favoring. I guess I should favor them both. But I'm favoring Carlos because my assumption is going into next season he's going to be the number one. We'll see what the other Carlos has to bring to the table. But I think that they did pretty damn well this season. And then of course maybe one other one would be to Danny Dicchio, to slide into this system after what Trevor built over the last couple of years, and of course prior to Trevor. But he had a system in place, had a core group together that was already under a system that Trevor was building. So for Danny to kind of slide in there, although the playoffs didn't end up the way that we all wanted it to, I would say that it was still a step up from last year. They lived up to what their goal was, and that was to provide us a home playoff match. Now, it would have been nice, for a few different reasons to maybe, advance past that. But like I said, I think it did pretty good sliding in there and providing a different dynamic. It was a really entertaining season, so kudos to him. And it seemed like him and Trevor might have figured out, how they move together, as a team, with Trevor taking on his new role. So.
Yeah, that's a couple of good ones there. Garrett.
Man's already received a lot of gifts, so I'm going to do this. Is going to be the honorary one before the big one. Devin Almumensa, big contract extension, recently got married. Congratulations to both him and the missus. Great year for him. Second team All USL as well for USL Championship. Great year on there. But mine, I'm going to go. This is going to be a group gift. Anyone involved with the women's side, indoor, and the W League. massive
good one.
year for the women's side for 2024. A lot of growth. The indoor PASL season obviously being such a success that it spawned on the MASLW season, which fucking starts this weekend. And
Who's driving to Kalamazoo?
But it's to all involve Dwayne, Danny Evans, Eliza, all the players. Anyone else we didn't mention? Hell of a job. Couldn't be more prouder.
Yeah, those are another couple of good ones. Y'all hit some real good ones there on the players, and yeah, I guess mine. I was thinking Danny Dicchio. Good to lump Trevor in there too, because I think we weren't super sure how Trevor was going to assimilate to his new role with the team at the end of last season. Yeah, especially the women. That's a great one too. I want to throw mine out to the supporters. Obviously not me. I was at 2 games this year, but supporting on the farm. But
we were undefeated in those 2 games.
Yeah, no, that's not true.
Oh,
wow.
Never mind then.
Okay, then screw you.
One of them was the playoff game, so I guess.
It ended a draw. It technically was a draw until.
Yeah. No, I don't subscribe to that, but whatever, we'll go with it. But yeah, the people who are there week in, week out from now, the 21st of December through early November, like y'all are insane. But even in Nate's retirement blurb today, he mentioned the fans and the fans making Keywords such a spectacle. Like we've heard players speaking about it before who've come in to play games, and like we've seen players react to it. We saw how Tampa react when they went ahead and when they won the game. Like they didn't have their own fans to celebrate in front of, I guess. So yeah, it's big. It's big that people make the effort to get out there week after week after week, especially when those weeks keep increasing. And we're almost a year-round operation now. And yeah, like biggest shout out to the SGs, like all of them. Not I don't want to big up one in particular, but like everyone who does something to make that atmosphere the way it is, whether it's NGS or Ramon and his Notre Truck boys and Red, or even the fucking coalition, they all do stuff to make that atmosphere what it is, and to make those players feel as loved as they do, and make it as hard on them to leave as it seems to be for every one of them that ends up leaving. So yeah, big ups to the supporters, and long may it continue, and long may it continue to grow. And we're in the part of the year now where NGS at least is planning for next season, and it's a perfect time to start getting involved in the off season or to try things in the women's indoor season. That's like the perfect time to come out and start to get to know people and to help. But yeah, my biggest gift of this Christmas season goes to every single supporter that makes this thing tick and work and continue to grow and be the juggernaut that it is. And we have been joined by Adam, and if Adam has his biggest gift of the year ready to go, we can hear that before we move on to the call.
Oh, so I made it just in time?
Yeah.
Just in time. We just finished. You missed the big
gifts.
You missed the big
a grand old time.
The ghost of
a
Beacon
little bit
Christmas
of
present.
What were
Red jumped out of a cake for some reason. We don't know why.
Oh shit, Red's here. I gotta go.
And he just now put his top back on.
It has to do with his new side hustle. So
I clicked on a link. I thought it was an OnlyFans link, but
he did tell me earlier when we were planning this that he might jump on with no top on. So I was glad to see he was fully clothed.
I took my top off and then decided otherwise.
Alan's gonna stand up and it's just gonna be only tinsel. that's covering him up. So.
Who receives the biggest gift from you this year, Adam?
Do we have to keep it to city, or can it be like across the board?
Anyone in the world.
You can do whatever you want, bud. This show is unhinged.
Your
tonight.
time. It's your gift.
Like,
You
it's
can write
it's
anyone's
Christmas,
name on
bro.
the tag.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, I mean, off the top of my head right now, I'm gonna say Carlos Saldana, just because he's made it such an easy transition, from Nate to himself. I think Nate is leaving City in very good hands, and I think it made that decision for Nate that much easier. Knowing that he's stepping out and that there's a capable keeper in there right now that's going to be able to, continue to move things forward from that spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Carlos Saldana.
Wow,
Nice. Red also
that was a good one.
Red also gave his.
I was listening.
He's got
gonna have
two
to think
gifts
of a
under
different one.
the tree.
Was that Reds?
Yep.
That was Reds. Yeah, one of Reds.
I was listening beforehand, and no, I'm kidding.
I guess that just confirms for people, if anyone was under any illusion, that very little planning goes into this. So we do not show around with each other beforehand who we're gonna say. Confirmed.
We do it live.
All right, so with that said and done, let's get on to the thing everybody's really here for. Who are you giving the biggest lump of coal in their stocking to? And this is for someone you really have an issue with. This is the Festivus section of the show tonight. This is I have a lot of problems with you people, and you're gonna hear about them.
Who's been naughty?
So I guess we should kick off with who we all agreed was the biggest Grinch of the group, right?
Yeah.
When we voted earlier, when he wasn't even here.
Adam,
Adam, you want to kick us off?
No, I don't.
Wow, I wasn't prepared for this. Garrett, why don't you kick us off? Because I feel like yours might be the nicest one, and it's only going to go downhill from there.
I don't know, Garrett's gotten pretty mean. So
Yeah.
but go ahead, Garrett.
Well, maybe he'll just give us something to aspire to then.
Those that shit. What's a good one? There's a few of them I could go. There's obvious ones. People are gonna say. I feel like our group's gonna have the most obvious Cole answer. I'm gonna go with those that don't. Shit, I'm trying to think of what's a good one. Cause, all right, those that don't understand. Those that don't understand when polls come out and automatically assume that the question of what do people want to see and the words MLS on there, motherfuckers, it doesn't apply always to just Detroit City things. You can't avoid the discussion. If you're going to wear FCK MLS on a t-shirt, you also need to explain in conversation as adults in some situations why you strongly feel that way. Or vote for the Super League, or vote for PWHL, or vote for WNBA as what Detroit expansion franchise thing you would like to see. But you can't run away from conversations. And not only that too, then, also that makes Adam even more of a Grinch when people do polls like that. So for anyone that raises the eye over that, you get Cole. Lots of it.
What poll are we talking about?
No idea.
I don't know.
I don't. That sounded very specific to me.
Garrett's got a grievance from like 4 months ago. It's been eating at him ever since.
Do you want to throw out some context there, Garrett?
Last week, Majors Detroit put out a poll. By Majors Detroit, Adam and his fancy graphics, because I don't have the keys to the IG. And it was what was the wording, Adam? It was a handful of options that people could choose between PWHL, USL Super League, WNBA,
It's
MLS.
like who
but-
do you want to see
Oh,
next
I
to
did-
Detroit?
I did see that on Facebook, I think.
Yes, that's what it was. It was asking, and it was, and for added context, you're asking a bunch of Lions fans who, for the most part, still have no idea who Detroit City FC is. And the good news coming out of that poll is like 2 people said MLS. 2. Most people were saying WNBA and the PWHL. So
Eat it, Don Garber.
Yeah, and that's good news. I mean, you have a bunch of Lions fans and Tigers fans, not wanting MLS here. So it was a very reassuring poll. So yeah, and I agree with Garrett though. Fans. Supporters of Detroit City FC shouldn't run away from those conversations about MLS. They should continue to have those conversations about MLS, and people should be able to explain why MLS is bad or not. It's not something that's good for the city and the community. So,
embrace discussion. Don't run away from it.
Are you saying that a bunch of diehard American football fans didn't care to see a soccer team?
No, they thought it was a commie plot that was going to end up.
Right.
There was some suggestion that the poll might have been from a clickbaity website among DCFC fans who clearly didn't know who runs the Majors Detroit.
And ironically enough, there was nothing to click on. It was just a graphic.
Right. There was a bit of discussion in the Discord that this is just clickbait, just ignore it. And then obviously our boy who runs the Majors Detroit had to reveal himself.
Oh, you revealed me.
I outed him first because I thought he might be about to blow his lid.
Adam wasn't ready to come out as the Majors Detroit, but
yeah, I made that decision for him, I guess. Sorry.
And then I get sent screenshots, and I'm like, wait, why am I narked in this too?
So I was just trying to let people realize that, hey, maybe you need to calm down on your nonsense of this poll that is literally for the reason Adam just explained. And maybe don't shit on people who you clearly don't know or the people who run it, but who can see your messages. It wasn't in the Christmas spirit, It wasn't.
Man.
It
I
wasn't.
didn't expect to be canceled in December 2024, y'all.
I think it was around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we thought
so maybe
that would
that's
happen much
Thanksgiving.
earlier.
Yeah, totally.
Wow, so Garrett's handing out coal to supporters. Okay.
Alan, why don't you calm us down and give us something very non-specific?
Okay. Lump of coal goes to Grand Rapids
Yes.
for being cowards.
Yes.
And running away when they could have stood there and gotten beat by us several times a year. Now we have to just settle on like Open Cup.
Hey, Alan.
So shame on them.
Alan,
Coal, lump in the basket.
Alan, you know why they're not going to USL and they don't want to face? Because they don't want to have their banner stolen again.
Oh.
There's only one time during the year now when they could have their banner stolen.
They're still looking
presumably.
for it.
Yeah, we still got our best
Allegedly.
We don't know that it was stolen. It was a very windy day.
Could have been borrowed.
It was windy.
Oh yeah.
Hey man,
I mean,
if it's taken
could
7
have been the
years for
weather.
the NASL lawsuit to happen, it's still going to take time for this investigation as to what happened to the Grand Rapids flag.
we only knew.
But we still have our best man on the case.
Yep.
Be assured, Grand Rapids. We still have our best
Yeah.
man out there looking for that flag. I don't know that they've checked the storage unit yet, but it's coming.
No stone unturned.
Jaime, your background seems to have changed in readiness for your opportunity here, so why don't you fire away?
Almost has
And it
the
better not be
same
10
hairstyle.
bars.
All right.
That background, by the way, gives me a twitch because I've watched that movie about 846 times in the last 3 weeks.
Oh yeah. If you got kids, you're watching The Grinch, man.
Jesus.
All right, I can't believe this hasn't been brought up already.
Oh shit.
My lump of coal goes to Maxi fucking Rodriguez, who's torn out my heart and stomped on it. I love that man.
Why?
Why? Because he's fucking left just at the time that we were on the cusp of greatness and gone to fucking Rhode Island.
To downgrade
To fucking Rhode Island with freaking Matt Ibarra, and I would just like to say, or Mark. Sorry.
One of them.
Had too many Christmas ales already.
Where's the wine?
Do you know what? I ran out of the wine the other day. I drank it all, and I didn't have time to go to the store to get another bottle. And so I've been stuck with the Christmas ale, which is equally delicious.
Which sounds like it's doing the job just as well.
La 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 la.
Hey, Jaime. Hey, Jaime.
Yeah.
And by the other day, he means half an hour ago.
He did tell us. He did tell us a couple days ago that he had found another bottle of wine. So this is a new development.
The last episode we did, he was drinking it straight out of the bottle.
Listen, about that, only God can judge me.
Hey, Jaime.
Well, yes, Adam.
I got maybe a solution to your grief.
Okay.
Nice haircut, by the way. It looks really good.
Thank you. You guys have all been you all have been so affirming of my recent trip to the salon.
You can go and start supporting the other 10-goal scorer on the team, and all those 10 goals, by the way, came, without the aid of penalties. So,
why did people bring that up? They act like penalty kicks don't count or something.
No, they do count. They do count.
I'm still mad that he owes me 2 Del Tacos from this past week.
I just like to mention that Ben Morris missed his penalty kick against Houston.
And he made it during Tampa Bay, something that
and he was
Maxey
the
couldn't
only
do.
one to make it in the playoffs.
so he's got a 50% record on penalty kicks on the season, which means if he had been the penalty kick taker, we probably would have only lost or made
got him
less than 1% of them.
Well, let me ask you, with that revelation, would you prefer that Ben scored his penalty against Houston, or would you prefer that Maxey scored his penalty against Tampa?
I would have preferred that Maxey scored against Tampa.
Okay.
Is that the only one that he's ever missed in Detroit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Fucking give him an extra 2 lumps of coal for Maxey.
That's why he left. That's
One
why
for
he
leaving
left.
and one for missing
Shame.
the
He
penalty
was
kick when it
ashamed.
actually counted.
His last shot on goal went wide, and then he left for Rhode Island.
I've got no more words.
Maybe he's just following the ball. Like he kicked the ball, he's following it. All right, Adam.
It went all the way to Rhode Island.
Yeah. Adam, I think
up.
we've warmed you up enough. Let's kick this into overdrive.
Well, to kind of piggyback off of Jaime here, I have 3 lumps of coal to distribute, and that goes to 1, Maxi Rodriguez.
Thank you.
2, James Murphy.
Worst
and
penalty.
3,
Worst penalty.
Elvis Amo.
Ooh.
For failing to deliver and failing a 1 Nate Steinwasher in his final home game at Keyworth Stadium, who, by the way, managed to turn away Manuel Ortega and Joshua Perez in that process as well. And Maxey and James especially could not deliver when they gave him that massive opportunity. So, yeah, Maxey, James, Elvis, huge lumps of coal in your stocking. And, yeah, that's it.
Nice little theme there. I'm
Gonna
glad
need
to
more
see
coal.
I'm glad to see the pain has subsided in the last 5 weeks. Well, yeah, Red, what about you? Who's your lump of coal for? Or
Well,
multiple lumps of
I
coal?
had a
There's
few,
no rule.
but Drunk Santa over there, aka Alan, I want to echo his with Grand Rapids. I also want to echo Jaime's. And I just didn't even realize that. Like that, we might be onto something. Like Maxi's final shot at Keyworth Stadium was a missed PK, and he never missed it. I'm starting to think that wasn't even accidental. Just me.
Hot take.
And then he goes to the team that made it to the finals. Think about this, guys.
Conspiracy.
All right.
All right. But the other one actually is related to Jaime. Here's what I'm going to do, Jaime. I'm going to rip that fucking gift out of Connor Rutt's hand.
Wow.
And I'm going to place a piece of coal into it until he acknowledges that his first fucking podcast interview was on the 451 show.
And you thought I struggled at letting things go.
This is a legitimate beef.
Wow.
To his credit, and this was literally in the middle of a match when I was heckling him at our own stadium. I got his attention when he was on the pitch, and he looked at me, and I said, 451 was your first interview. And he looked at me in the middle of the match, and he said, I owe you a beer. So, all right, I'll give him his present back. Oh, no. So I'll give an actual legitimate piece of coal. I don't want to give one to Connor. Connor, congratulations on the nuptials. And
Ripped your heart out.
yeah, and Maxie, we know what it is. He's gonna have a different experience when he comes to Keyworth next time, and you're gonna rip him a new fucking asshole. I'll tell you that. But I'd say the fella in the Facebook group who's bagging on Gabby because of her asshole husband.
That's a good one.
The same day as the poll debate. God, that day fucking sucked.
And I'm a merciful person, so if you recognize the ills of your ways, I'll take that piece of coal from you. But that's to any supporter who wants to press down on any player, although, as was pointed out in that conversation, that we don't do this to the male players and scrutinize their spouses, that get your shit together.
Can I?
All I know is about that. That whole thing with Gabby is there was one specific player on the men's side in 2023 who actually posted himself at a Jordan Peterson lecture, and the only thing people did, fans and supporters, was sit there and go on about, oh, why isn't this guy playing? Why isn't this guy playing? Why isn't this guy playing? I mean, yeah. So
you want
I'm not
to
gonna
know?
name. I'm not gonna name names.
It was Adrian. We all know who you're talking about.
I want to say something. The significance of that event Red was talking about. When you have
Adrian Billhart, in case you were confused, comeback player of the year in League One.
Oh, was he?
We're still going.
Yeah. Before he came here, he was the play. Yeah.
I thought this past season. I thought this past season. I knew that. I thought he was again this past season. Sorry, Garrett. Go ahead.
I was going to say the significance of that event and that asshat that did cause that discussion that Red was talking about. Which, why are we bringing this back? That's would have been the secondary, something we talked about earlier in the fucking year. When we have a lot of what I consider the veteran Detroit City supporters that have been there for a long, long time, that have over many years been on opposite sides of discussion, but they all are on the same page to roast motherfuckers like that in that group. Yeah. That tells you that guy and others agreed with, including the usual suspects that want to jump in with their shenanigans. Those ones fucked up.
Yeah, he fucked around and found out. I hope he sticks around, and I hope he just learns, and that's that. You know, no love lost, but like,
yeah,
fucking stupid.
If I'm picking up on the context correctly here, because I was gone, that sounded like a good one, right?
Yeah, I gave the call to the fella in the Facebook group.
Yeah, I got it. I got you. So that leaves me. I got back right in time from the coal mine with my bag of coal. I got a couple to give out too. Biggest one going to be to the scrubby ass other SGs in this league, because they're honestly
SGs without the apostrophe.
They got without the apostrophe, yeah, Jam. Sorry. You know, they're going on hiatus. They're saying nothing all year.
The Cricketeers.
I never even heard of the Crocketeers.
The Cricketeers. They're the Cricketeers.
Yeah,
is Geezer a Crocketeer or is Geezer his own man, Red?
The Cricketeers are gone on hiatus because it sounded like they just were worn out. I don't know. They said
how's that different from what they were beforehand?
Looking for a new supporter spark, but not helping anyone to get there. I don't know. Whatever. They've been going 15 years, I guess. Happy trails. You have the Steel Army taking shots at Nate the day he retires. Like,
I guess you can from Harry today about that.
I guess you can only assume that Nate lives rent free in their heads from that playoff whooping they took last year. The best 1-0 whooping you've ever seen.
God bless.
So yeah, like step it up. Step it up. The NGS operation is 365. We don't just pop out here when players retire, and you can bet we're never gonna go on hiatus like losers. My other one is for
Wait. Before you go on the next, there was a SG that announced that they were going to be on hiatus.
Yeah,
San Antonio's.
The Crocketeers.
That's okay. Sorry, that's what you were talking. I don't know. You were talking. It was like wah 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 wah.
That's
Sorry,
often
I
how it
must have hit
seems.
the Charlie Brown Christmas special there.
I'm just gonna say.
Well, I'm gonna womp a bit more here because my other bag of coal goes to Detroit City's front office. Sorry, we're here again. We're here again. It's every year. I tried to click through a link in an email today to not buy tickets for the women's team, but just to see. It said you could buy your tickets, right, for the women's indoor season. And I was surprised because last year you could only buy them week of. So I was like, oh, cool. They're letting you buy them in advance this year. That's kind of cool. Like, they'll probably sell out all their games. I'm going to go and tell people, hey, go buy your tickets so that they don't get left out and disappointed, you know? And I clicked the link in the email, and I'll give you like 100 guesses where it brought me, and you'll never guess what it was. I'll give everybody a guess, right? Let's play a game. Alan, where did this link bring me when I clicked it?
I did click that link, so I already know.
Okay, you're out. Garrett,
So,
where did this link
I
bring
know
me when
exactly what you're talking about.
The accessory section of the Club Shop website.
Oh, that's a good one. It's wrong, but that's good. Jaime.
This is a tough one. This is a close one, but I'm gonna guess that it took you to season tickets for 2025.
It didn't. No,
Oh.
that's a good guess, though. That's a good guess.
Did it
I
take you
like
to see-
Garrett.
did it
Garrett's just more out of the box. I'm not gonna ask
No,
Adam
did
because
it take you? I already know what it was, but I'm gonna take another guess. Was it season tickets to 2022's season?
oh, that's a good one. No.
That was a good season.
Red, you want to?
I wouldn't mind having
wager,
a new season ticket for that season.
I'm gonna guess.
We just signed Antoine Hopino. He was,
Oh.
you know,
A veteran presence.
He's a
on the
veteran
pitch.
presence.
The feisty Frenchman.
yes, very much needed for a team making the jump from NISA to USL Championship.
It's going to be tough in this new league.
Wow, this is the most riled up I've ever got, all of you. Red, what about what's your guess?
I'm gonna say that it went to Adam's Tinder profile.
Oh.
Honorary guest. The link to our interview with Dom.
It's a spicy profile.
It unfortunately you all were wrong. It actually brought me to the news announcement for Michael Bryant's contract extension.
Oh, he got extended?
The website, yeah. So imagine my surprise. So I clicked through it a few times, and then like I went on my computer to make sure it wasn't like my phone had.
So if you need tickets, you have to talk to Michael.
Yeah, you gotta talk to Michael.
Hold on. Or
He's
Michael's
got a
mom.
stack of tickets in his pocket.
Yeah, more likely Michael's mom or dad.
Independent ticket broker.
We're gonna need the listeners to flood Michael Bryant's social media pages and ask him where the hell.
I need a ticket, man.
Well, I guess they eventually fixed the link or sent out a new email or whatever. But you know, we've been in USL for 3 years now. We seem to have competent people in all the facets of the club. It sounds like, from things I've been told, they don't really talk to each other, which leads to things not necessarily working the way they should. I'm like, can we just get it together? Can we start to have some fucking staff meetings or something? Can we figure it out? Like, why is a link in an email broken for tickets you're trying to sell? Why am I getting phone calls where you tell me, oh yeah, I see in your notes that you moved out of state, but I just wanted to check if maybe you moved back. I needed a season ticket. Like, I put that information in that note for a reason, because I don't want your fucking phone calls anymore. I can't buy a season ticket. I can't afford it, frankly.
So FO, if anyone from the FO is listening, call Dennis constantly. Because he really wants to talk to you.
If anybody needs season tickets, contact Dennis.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what you say?
It's not the calls I might. If they wanted to call me to help them figure out their shit and get it together, I'd be very open to that. If they wanted to call me to help them for like a decent salary run their shit, I would do that. But currently, we're not up to snuff with the team we're trying to portray ourselves as.
I just can't wait to see Michael Bryant walk up and down Roosevelt carrying a cardboard sign that says "I need tickets" and the other side that says "I have tickets."
I used to stand
It's
out.
a Detroit tradition. I mean, he's really taking it in all the way.
I used to give
He's
out.
going to start banging a plastic drum eventually.
Let me give you a different angle to this, Dennis. If you think about this wasn't for the USL. This was the women's side who's starting in a new league. If we compare it to how the indoor league last winter ran, kind of a step up.
Yeah. I see where you're going with that, but it's the same fucking front office, right? It's the same front office.
Next thing Red's gonna say is this new league's got potential.
I know. I think there's people in the front office who are there, and they're very competent people, and they're doing their best. Like, I truly believe they're doing their best. Like, they're obviously not doing this shit on purpose, but it just feels like at some point we just need to tighten up the shop. We need to just start talking to each other a little bit more, and we just need to figure it out. You know, like we wanna be this professional operation, portray this. We're moving to a new stadium, like. We're about to hit hyperdrive here, and sometimes the stuff coming out doesn't hit that mark. So give me a call. Let's talk about it. Let's talk.
So you're saying the Lions
and
aren't
also
going to
try to get some tickets to him.
The Lions aren't going to put out an email with season tickets to 2025 and instead have a link up to Zadarius Smith's signing or trade.
I wouldn't say so. They probably also wouldn't put out a 2025 season tickets video with like Jamal Williams front and center. Like, you know, we got to move on from and I know these videos are probably made well in advance, but like we also saw Daniel Maxey was gone well in advance, so maybe he shouldn't be the face of the 2025 video. Just little things. It's just little things. Give me a call. Email me. I'll let you know when my office hours are, and we'll set something up.
Jesus Christ. Damn.
I mean, to be fair, Dennis did make strides with this growth at the end of the year. I mean, hell, he was on the field with us in the last game of the year.
You know, I wasn't even drinking at the game. Do you know how hard that is for me? You know how hard it is for me to portray that serious image.
I was on the field too, but it was because I fell over the fence drunk.
Yeah. See,
Right.
Me and Red are going in opposite directions.
Well, it was
Yeah.
yelling at Connor.
All right.
Security didn't do anything because they just like, it's red, he's drunk.
It's
Doesn't
red.
matter.
Oh shit.
With
He's
the,
blending in with the wall, actually.
with the fires lit with all that coal we gave out, we're nice and toasty now. We're ready to spread some love. We got that warm feeling in our hearts. Today we got the official announcement of something we sort of knew for the last few weeks, in that Nate Steinwasser is jumping into retirement. In a Nick Signals messaging video.
Read the email first. Read the email first.
Read the image that came out 10 minutes after, before you watch the video, for sure. And we also last week found out that another stalwart of the team, albeit for less time, 4 years, Maxi, we've talked and touched on it a little bit, is going to be heading off to his new challenge, which is helping Rhode Island be better than us in the regular season. So big challenge ahead for him. Just gonna throw around the room real quick, say as much or as little as you want on either one of them. I know Adam will probably skip Maxi, or pile on some more vitriol. I don't know. Let's start with Adam. Actually, say what you want about Nate or Maxi or both, or neither. I don't know.
Two legends of the club. Nate. Thing with Nate is he proved so many people wrong, because when we were first making the jump to USL, one of the things you heard about the most, I think, was, oh yeah, Nate was great in NISA, he was great in MPSL, but we need to get a keeper in here that's going to be able to get us, that's going to help us compete in USL. Everybody was writing off Nate, and
not everyone.
He proved,
but
well, not everyone. A lot of people were. And Nate proved.
Receipts.
Dennis does have receipts, and Nate proved a lot of people wrong. He ended up not just being service; he ended up being one of the best keepers at USL Championship. So,
and that's just not idle talk.
No,
the stats. I mean, the stats are incredible.
Yeah, that's
like third or fourth best goalkeeper in the league.
Absolutely.
For a period of time. So it's
legit. You know what, too, is, as much as that shootout, or not a shootout, the penalties sucked against Rhode Island, it was kind of cool to see Nate go against Jordan Farr. I mean, you two of the best keepers in, at the time, USL Championship, Jordan Farr's now in MLS with New England or something like that right now.
DC,
is that what it is? DC. So yeah, it was cool to see, albeit the result. But as far as Maxi goes, Maxi's a very good player for Detroit. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. One thing with Max is I think people did go a little overboard with what he can contribute in the future with his team, because everything that he is getting paid to do right now with Rhode Island is stuff that he's already done with City. He's getting paid for what he's already done in the past, not necessarily what he's going to be doing in the future. Guy's 29 years old. He's going to be 30 in August. Yeah, I said he was overrated. He's overrated in the sense that he's getting this massive pay bump with Rhode Island, and I think you've got to think to yourself, like, what does all of that entail? Yes, he's like I said, he's a very, very good player for Detroit, but if Detroit was going to actually go out there and re-sign him, what were they going to re-sign him, and who was going to be sacrificed for that signing? Are you gonna sign Maxi over Steven? Are you gonna sign Maxi over
Ben?
Over Devin?
Wait, did I say
are you gonna sign?
Did I say that out loud?
Are you gonna sign Maxi over Ben? Yeah,
yes.
I mean, you can go ahead and say that.
I would.
He owes me a third bet after 2025.
I mean, but the thing with Maxi is we've seen. I think Maxi has done everything that he possibly can with Detroit at this point. I mean, the offense is no better now than what it was in 2022. And I'm so sick and tired of people comparing Maxi to the rest of Detroit City. Whenever I see somebody bring up, how great Maxi was, they're always comparing him to the rest of City's roster. And it's like, yes, he was the best player on the team, arguably. But that doesn't say a whole lot. If you go and you put those numbers up against the rest of USL Championship, he's not a great player. He's a good player. He's not a great player though. And like, what was it? It was that Elite company or something like that was tweeting at me on Twitter today or the other day.
I've had a lot of people yell at you between Blue Sky and Twitter about this.
And it was dumb. And they're sitting here comparing Maxi's FOTMob rating to the rest of Detroit City's FOTMob ratings. And yes, Maxi was at the top of Detroit City's FOTMob rating. It was him and Michael Bryant at number 2. You know where Maxi is as compared to the rest of USL Championship? He's 23rd in the entire league. He's 23rd. And I thought Maxi was great, but he's not going to be getting any better throughout his career. He's not. He's going to end up getting worse. And if Rhode Island has all that money to sit there and throw at him, then that's awesome. Go ahead and do it. I'm glad it wasn't City that was throwing all that money at him. Because Detroit sports fans know, especially when teams hold on too long, what could happen from that standpoint. We saw it with the Red Wings when they held on for too long. We saw it with the Pistons when they held on for too long. And the results right now, and the results aren't great. And the Pistons and the Red Wings are still suffering from general managers who held on for too long. And it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a very, very hard pill to swallow. That, a lot of these guys that were with us in the transition, that won us that NISA, that NISA championship, that were, that had all that success in 2022, making the jump from NISA, aren't here anymore. And it's just that era of Detroit City has taken this team as far as they're going to go. Nobody could sit here and honestly say that a offense that is catered around Maxi Rodriguez is going to win us anything at this point right now. We've had a sample size long enough now at this point to say that it's not. And it's time to move on. It's time for Maxi to move on. Have him go out and get that big, paycheck, because it's probably going to be the last one he'll ever see in his career. And that's not saying that he's a bad player. It's going to be the last one he sees in his career because he's 29 fucking years old. He's going to be 30 in August. Nobody's going to go out and dish out that kind of cash for a guy who's going to be, approaching his mid-30s. So, I'm sorry. Time to move on.
You don't have to be sorry. That kind of veered from the.
What was the question?
Yeah,
it was basically.
What are you doing for Christmas?
Give
That
Maxi
was
and
the
Nate.
question.
Give Maxi and Nate as much flowers as you want or don't want.
Yeah, Maxi, thanks for the memories, Maxi. Go ahead.
I think the question was, should we give gifts to unfortunate children during?
Yes,
right.
Use the money saved from not signing Maxi and use it for Toys for Tots or Freedom House or something like that.
Wow.
Oh shit!
Garrett, why don't you give us a few?
Max is gonna jump into the stands and beat your ass.
2 more names I'm going to throw to this. Obviously, you mentioned Nate and Maxi. Brett Levi's 1.5 years with this club. Somebody that unfortunately dealt with the injury bug, but somebody that showed a great player when able. Somebody that also was solid with the group. Someone that, when I think Danny Dico singles out somebody as wanting to take more of a leadership role in the team, and then you see even when he's not playing some of the stuff he was doing this year, I think in like drill running, Brett Levis has a future in football. Whether he plays, I can see him coaching, I can see him being involved. That could, if that means something, maybe if he's done and he wants to stay something with Detroit City as like, performance coach, anything like that, potentially. The guy's got a future in football. He's going to succeed in it. Thanks for the memories on that. I'm not going to go Maxi next to last on here. I'm going to go Maxi second here because there's somebody else I want to give flowers to before Nate. Maxi Rodriguez. Adam said a lot of it, and Sean Spence said a lot of it. Maxi Rodriguez.
Who?
Another endeavor of ours, as we've talked about.
Remember I was saying Adam does like 5 podcasts now? That's one of the other ones.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maxi Rodriguez
Talk about
and Detroit City FC came together at the right time when both needed each other. NISA 2021, and there were times, and when it was great, it was great. These 4 seasons, runs of this season, 2022. When it was rough, it was rough. Last year, which we've already talked about how painful 2023 was, and the 13-goal stretch.
Further in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I think Maxi Rodriguez Maxi Rodriguez will get his velvet painting. He's someone that will go down as someone of importance in the history of Detroit City FC. However, I think the time for Detroit City and Maxi have reached their potential that they can together. And if Maxi going meant that we were able to lock up Devin the way we did, and Steve, and Ben, and even Lai Jop, who's taken great strides these last few years, Maxi, go get that bag. But you're gonna struggle at Keyworth when we boo the shit out of you for 2 hours. This guy now we need to go to the second on here, and that is Yazid Matthews. Somebody that wasn't the most technically gifted, but one of the hardest workers that we know about. One of the most people I think that got it, that loved being around, loved being in the culture, loved being in the already making a big impact coaching in the youth side on there. And cool dude to chat with. Great memories from Atlas in 2019 to Adam's first Detroit City away day, which was the win in the Tin Can, the Clinch Members Cup, October 2019. Chattanooga winner. His last goal for Detroit City was the equalizer against Houston in the Open Cup. So he's going to succeed, and I think also the fact that he's going to do well. And, it's unfortunate to see. My guess is he's probably going to be done playing. But I know he's going to be another dude that's going to succeed wherever he goes. So thanks for the memories on there. One city, always city. I know we'll be seeing you around. So, and Nate Steinwasser, man, it's the Nate Steinwasser and Detroit City have been almost connected to each other since the beginning. If you think about it, 2012, Detroit City's first year, Nate Steinwasser is involved with it. The first game at Keyworth, 2016, Nate Steinwasser. The transition into a professional side, Nate Steinwasser. Not just Nate Steinwasser, local player, Nate Steinwasser. And
CPA Nate Steinwasser.
CPA Nate Steinwasser with a career as busy as his and 2 kids under 4 as his, and continuing work rate and to continue to be the story and push to get to the level that he did. That is a goddamn success story. And there's always going to be moments, and we all knew where we were, whether in Keyworth or where we were watching it, where we were at when that final minutes went down October 19th against Miami FC. And Elvis Amos starts to step to the side as Nate Steinwasser steps up. That's Detroit City FC's Rudy moment. It was even better than Rudy because it was Nate that stepped up and took that penalty. Another dude that's going to crush it. Another dude that's going to be around. And who knows? As mentioned in the statement, maybe it's one or both of his kids that we will then sing the praises of, depending on the way it goes. But Brick Wall, Stein Monster, the goddamn man, whatever you want to call him, Nate Steinwasser. Thanks, man.
Nice. Very nice. Very, very pleasant. Brad, at the risk of this running another 20 minutes, do you want to shout out Maxi and Nate?
I mean, I'd only have 15 points to make.
1 hour later.
Give
one.
No, Matt, I'm not sure yet that Maxi deserves a velvet, but I would push back on that. 4 years in the club. I don't know that he gets a velvet. I don't know.
Adam's eyes just lit up there.
I think that's arguable.
Okay.
But I'll say this, that Maxi has been an integral part of this club, and appreciate him and his service to our club. Yeah, it's an unfortunate demise, but wish him well. Very unfortunate to see him. I actually thought, to be honest with you, when we played San Antonio, and that fella got the red card in the first half, in his last match, in the way that Maxi so graciously walked him off the field, which I think was the right thing to do. But it was in that moment that I was convinced that Maxi was actually going to go home to San Antonio. I was like, he might be trying to gain. Well, who knows? Maybe he was. No, maybe Maxi was just being Maxi because he's a good guy. So I don't want to take that away from him. But I thought maybe Maxi might be going to San Antonio. I just felt like it was a moment that I'd be able to look back on a year from now and be like, that motherfucker, right? But and I would have felt a lot better at Maxi leaving his club to go back to San Antonio. But you went to that scrubby ass club in Rhode Island. Okay, we all make mistakes, Maxi. No, but Maxi's dope. Maxi, on a serious note, Maxi, I mean, having the opportunity to chat with him from time to time, and particularly, for those who might not know who are listening, right? I did an interview with Maxi a few years ago, and one of the things that I learned about Maxi in that process and just through conversations was that, he really did embody the spirit of this club, particularly over the last couple of years, right? It was like Maxi really saw his role as kind of clocking in and putting in his work, you know what I mean? And he valued the work that we put in the stands, in the terrace, right? And, I appreciate it, right? So certainly he gets his flowers. He definitely gets his flowers. But like I said, I don't know. I know that he's going to get a velvet, right? Because I know supporters are going to vote for it. But I don't know. I think we're getting up there in years as a club that maybe the standard of who gets a velvet up there. I don't know. I think that there's a difference between, let's say, a player who was only here for the first 3-4 years of the club's existence, that was part of that, you know what I mean? But later in the club, as it's established, and you come along and you're here for 3-4 years, I don't know. I don't know that you should so easily be immortalized with a whatchamacallit and the thingy thing. But I would echo what Garrett said about Zeed, without a doubt, especially considering that there was a point in time where Zeed wasn't on contract, and they was running into, a process, to get him, I think, citizenship maybe, or his green card. I can't remember what it was. And he was at every single training. You know what I mean? Even when he wasn't on contract, and he was still working with our youth. And that was during a time when I actually had the ability to make it to quite a few trainings, and he was in there. He was in there just like any other player. You know what I mean? So it was really a beautiful thing to finally see him get his nod to play in the USL Championship. So that was dope, and I agree with you, Gary. He definitely deserves his flowers. Nate, what can you say? Nate's got a special place in my heart for a few different reasons. One, that he was here from the first season. So, man, that's a stretch. That's a stretch of time with this club, and just his role in helping build this club, and him embracing the culture of this club, and just the way that it all happened, was a beautiful thing. So he definitely deserves his flowers. One of my there's a few memories that I have of Nate, but one in particular was, and I think I might have shared it with you guys before, when Nate was an undergrad. I can't remember if it was an undergrad or when he got his MBA, but I was working at Detroit Mercy as the associate registrar, and I actually was the one that clicked the button to award his degree, and that was like a pretty cool moment when I was in the office, and I literally saw his degree certification came in, and then I went into Banner and I pulled up his profile, and I was like, click, award, right? And I was able to award his degree, and it was just kind of a dope little situation. Another, and for our listeners who don't know, March 2nd, 2022, and actually March 6th, 2022, Nate is the only player that we conducted an interview with that actually had a 2-part interview. So there's a lot of his backstory that you can find in those interviews on Spotify. It's season 4, episode 4, and then the extra time with Stein Monster. I said Stain Monster. And then there's the other part. Y'all kind of talked about it, and I'll wrap up. I think actually you mentioned this earlier, Dennis. I don't know. I can't remember who mentioned this. The critiques of Nate when he was stepping into the number 1 role. Actually, for me, it was before that, because if y'all remember Fernando Pena, when he was around, I was actually critical of Nate during that time, because Fernando to me was dope back then, and Fernando was more commanding in the back, and he was good with the ball at his feet. And that was one of my big critiques of Nate, was he often wasn't very commanding from the back, and also, he didn't seem to be very comfortable with the ball at his feet. And I remember the winter when the men were playing that indoor season at the clubhouse, and I remember there was one of the matches where Nate came and he was playing in goal. He was actually playing on the field, and I remember making a comment to somebody that he looked a little bit shaky with the ball at his. I was kind of criticizing him. I had a couple beers in me too, and then I looked over to my left, and there was this woman just glaring like a death stare through me. And I thought in that very moment, oh shit, I think that's Nate's significant other. And then I walked over, like 2 minutes later, I said, "You're Nate's girlfriend, aren't you?" And she says, "Yes." And I said, "I'm sorry." But, I'll be damned that when I was critical with him at that point in time, it was from that point on. Not that I was the reason for it, but Nate, he put in work, you know what I mean? And he clearly just continued to improve. So kudos to Nate, flowers galore to him. Yeah, Nate is a city legend. Nate is a city legend.
Nate, I think
actually had a good stretch.
Nate might be the city legend, I think. But yeah, so just to summarize Red's 8 minutes on that, which actually wasn't the longest so far, Adam. Nate,
Mine was the longest.
Why does Adam have Garrett in his background?
Nate,
I found this picture of Garrett. I thought it was a good picture that you should put up.
This is
Zoo City 1, David Koresh looked like Zoo City 2.
For anyone who's never caught the video of this, the background shenanigans tonight have been outrageous. Alan, why don't you give us a nice 5 or 6 minute flowers for Nate and maybe Maxi? I don't know.
It all started
register
back
fucking
in the
yourself.
day. I remember when a young man named Nate Steinwasser came in, walked into our. Okay, that's all I got. Nate. He worked for what he got all the way along, and so it's not like he came in with a rep. He had to achieve what he got, and he was able to do that at every stage, which I think is just very impressive. It turns out his ceiling was a lot higher than probably anyone would have anticipated at every phase along the way, and it makes me wonder how many guys like that are out there, and they don't get the chance. Well, Nate got the chance, and he made the best of it. So I think that's the kind of guy he is, and I'm sure he wanted to keep on playing, but I think he kind of realized that this was the time to hang up the boots, and I think he'll keep on playing probably for one of the adult teams, but he really typifies kind of where we came from and where we want to go to. So clearly a club legend. I mean, it's the definition of it, and probably a story that we're probably not going to see anymore, until we start seeing academy kids coming through. Maybe that'll be like a kind of similar scenarios where you have kids graduate through the system and into the senior team, but we're not really at that stage yet. So for now, he really is the example. Just a real brief word about Maxi. I think that you can only judge departures by who comes in. So, hopefully, we say goodbye to Maxi and we say hello to somebody coming in that's going to take us further along the road. So, if it turns out we don't get that person, then Maxi leaving will be a bad thing. So it remains to be seen. We have seen the signings kind of building out from the back, and we haven't necessarily seen the full squad yet. So that's kind of an open question at this point.
That's fair. It'll be interesting to see who we start to bring in who isn't a fucking defender, maybe a striker for the Facebook group. Jaime.
Just for them.
Give us.
He won't actually play, but they'll just sign him to get them to shut the fuck up.
Jaime, give us your shout out to Nate and Maxi, or both, or neither. Alan actually kept that pretty short, so you can have 5 minutes if you want.
You're on mute.
You're on mute, Jaime. Come on, get it fucking together, will you?
Welcome to
Still on mute.
Welcome to Zoom, Jaime. Welcome to
This
Zoom.
is
Holy mother! I must have done that inadvertently because I've been working on a very special, one last special background for everybody. My
You
shout
were
out-
writing a haiku.
A haiku.
No, he needs weeks. He needs weeks' notice to write a haiku.
I think you'll find that last haiku was the highest rated haiku in the history of this program. The only one, fair enough, but
This is Irish haiku eraser.
Yeah, true.
All right, give us your flowers, please.
Shout out to Nate. It's all been covered before. I thought I'll just say that the moment for me is the first game of USL against San Antonio. He saves a penalty kick, and it's just of course he did. He's just done that since the NPSL days all the way through. He saves penalty kicks, and it was just like a really great moment for him. Maxi, I'll say I disagree with Adam. I don't think he's finished. I think he's probably got several good years left. I think that's probably just trying to rationalize away the fact that we haven't re-signed him. He's left for money. Good for him. It's a business, whatever. I'm going to just say that for me, personally, he's gone out the window in terms of being a legend or a Mount Everest. Like, he could have been, I think. But to leave just now, it's backwards. That's so disappointing.
No, it's not.
It's not backwards?
No.
Keep leaning over. Keep leaning over. Keep leaning.
That's good. That's good. You nailed it.
Thanks. I tried my hardest.
To me, that is perfect.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you for being so affirming. Yeah, I just, I don't buy. Yeah, he could have stayed. He could have stayed. He could have been a legend, and he's left. And now, all I can say is, when he comes back, I'm just gonna absolutely demolish him. And I hope Rhode Island finish last. And I hope that his girlfriend dumps him. And I hope that his sponsorship deal with Cracks Only gets revoked. And I hope that his hair gets caught in like his car door, and
Jesus.
He needs to have some sort of reconstructive hair surgery in Turkey.
Good spot.
Yeah. So.
And here I was going to ask you what were you more angry
we should
by,
find out more
Declan or
about
Maxi
So yeah, generally I'm in a good place with it all.
Do you hate more,
seems so.
Declan or Maxi? I mean,
That's a good one. It's also a close one, but
That's a good. That's a good New Year's all-season.
Definitely Maxi.
good choice. Good choice.
No.
Oh shit!
Recency bias.
Yeah.
What's old is new again.
Yeah, I mean that was quite comprehensive, I guess. Yeah, that was a good tease there about Maxi not being on the Mount Rushmore, because we did tease that a few weeks ago that we'll probably talk about that.
He's not on mine, just so you know.
Y'all are out of pocket with these backgrounds and camera shots.
That's not a background.
People listening to this, but audio only.
Is that
you're being cheated right now.
Is that Friendly's cousin?
Oh,
Yeah, it's Cranky.
In
Cranky the
flesh?
bear.
Oh shit! It is Cranky.
Does this
Go ahead.
confirm? Does this confirm the suspicions?
It's a Christmas miracle.
This
Cranky the
Christmas
bear has shown up
extravaganza-
on the podcast.
This Christmas extravaganza just keeps giving and giving.
Oh my
and
god!
giving.
Can't imagine.
All right. While you think he's about to toss his tree on the ground?
No,
Yeah, I guess in the new
I
year
think
we'll
he's gonna
talk
pee on
about.
it.
I guess in the new year we'll talk about City Mount Rushmore and
why Max is not on it.
and why Maxi's not on it, just to give Maxi some more chit chat. Yeah, Maxi came, he was good, he left. I disagree with the velvet painting thing. I think he will get one because people have got velvet paintings before who've done less for the team. So at some point, I think he'll probably get one. There's nothing really more to say about Nate than what all of you have already said. I was not surprised about him being mentioned as being here since 2012, even though I didn't realize that till I read the article earlier, the USL article, because he's the main article on USL today.
Clearly,
that he had trained with the 2012 team. I didn't know that before. So he's actually trained under all four managers that we've had, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I don't think he ever made one of the All USL teams. I think he may have been like an honorable mention or some shit. But you know, when pundits in a league are going crazy about you and your stats, like you know you're not just there to make up the numbers. And Nate proved very quickly he wasn't there to make up the numbers with, like we mentioned, that penalty save in his first game. Also kind of cool that he made a penalty save in his first game and saved 2 penalties in the shootout in his last game. Just showing kind of what his strengths were from day one till the end in the USL. Obviously, he showed his other strengths. It was cool to hear Red talk about, you know, him putting in the work in the field house as soon as it opened, basically, because someone must have told him, like, hey, you got to work on your footwork. And that probably giving us those pinging passes that kind of became his trademark by the end. And you know, it was an honor to play against him in the Fieldhouse, and I'm sure he'll continue playing in the Fieldhouse and probably link up with Sebi Harris's over 30 team, so he can start pinging balls up to Sebi as the top scorer in that league, season after season after season. And yeah, never forget, like Nate kind of broke into the mainstream media a little bit. I see his retirement announcement today got an article on Channel 7 on their website, and like he was named one of our Detroiters of 2023, and like he was in there with like Mallory McMorrow and like other people who like are significant to the city and to the state, and that's really cool to see for a local kid who went training in 2012 and ended up being connected with this club for 12 fucking years. And now,
also in the Tigers video, wishing Tarek Skubal congrats on the Cy Young, which is up there with like captains of the other sports teams.
Yeah, he's like he is like the Detroit soccer icon, I guess. Like he's a legend for the team. He's the legend. Like we've had a few people we could probably call legends. He's been involved. He's done all the things. He's done it all. And now he's saying, you know, he wants to step away now so he can pass that on to Declan and Noah. And I think that's fucking wonderful too. And, you know, it'd be cool to see the three of them and Katie, his now wife, who, you know, has probably grown up around City a little bit too, in the stands and in whatever role he sees fit to take in the coming years. But yeah, happy trails, Nate, and we know we'll see you around again. As I'm aware that you listen to this podcast, which is now at an hour and 33 minutes.
What's all real quick? Again?
Real quick, we're going to do a whip around of our last topic of conversation for the night. So I want everybody in 1 minute or less. 1 minute or less. I'm going to time it. I'm going to cut you off. I don't know how I do that. I don't think I can mute you, but I'm just going to tell you, hey, your time's up.
I'll kick him out of the meeting.
Nice, perfect. Let's do that. It'll just be me and Jaime left. Alan, Drunk Santa, kick us off. What are your hopes for 2025? 3, 2, 1, go.
Structural steel going up at the stadium site.
Wow, that was quick. Okay, cool, perfect. Garrett, what are your hopes for 2025?
Crest returning to the home kit. Both indoor and W League teams get the trophies. Groundbreaking. Fuck Louisville up away. Fuck Pittsburgh up. Bring it on.
Wow, as many as 4 in 20 seconds. That's beautiful. Adam, 2025, what do we want to see?
No more verdigris.
Also, fuck Indy. That's my saying, too.
Wow. Fuck Indy. Listen, your time's gone, buddy. You gave it away. Red. Wow. I hope to never find out who that is.
Can you pan the camera up?
What's that?
Can you pan the camera up?
I don't think you can. I think it's just that. Oh, God.
I know.
2025. What was the question?
Just what is your, like, what would you like to see happen in 2025 for City? City related, please.
City related. Okay. Let me
Are
think.
you counting, Jaime?
He's at 40 seconds.
Jesus Christ.
5. I want to see.
Oh,
Ben Morris
2.
kiss Jaime
One.
on the cheek.
Nice, beautiful, beautifully brought in at the end there. Jaime, ho ho Jaime, what's your wish for 2025?
2025, Rhode Island to lose every game,
Yes.
and the Keyworth Stadium vendors to sell Christmas ale at every match, even in the summer.
12 months of Christmas.
12 months of Christmas.
That's
Yeah.
2 nice ones.
Christmas
Okay,
Day every day.
That was under 30 seconds, so I'm gonna use all the time that you all saved up. No, my one is just I'm excited to see a full season of a team that's put together with Danny in the driving seat and Trevor doing what I guess he's done for most of his career, which is finding diamonds in the rough. And yeah, I would echo, I'd love to see the women win fucking everything this year, to be honest. Well, yeah, unless anyone has anything else to throw out there. Red.
Thank
put
you
us-
to the loyal listeners of this podcast.
Wow, yeah.
Merry
that's,
Christmas and Happy New Year.
There you go. That's what more is there to say than that? I guess. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Am I missing any?
Happy
Diwali.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. There you go.
Forward down all the fields of life.
Winter solstice.
Go Lions.
Let's go
fucking
through all
Yule.
the holidays between now and the end of the year.
12 days of Christmas, which starts on Christmas Day.
So if you're not celebrating, start celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of holidays to cover.
Get on our level. Garrett, what's your line that you had on?
We came to sweep the leg. With all disrespect, LaRouche will bruise your head. 2012, the scene pop. We came to clean clocks. Your team is dream drop. We gave some mean knocks, stomping on the count. Yeah, we chomping on the bit. Many came and went, but they ain't stopping none of it. Community built, community owned. Roasting foes coast to coast. Leave your hope postponed. Spirit of Detroit. Lemons the lemonade. Yemen and Bangladesh make a stronger.